What's your position now?
Several years ago, I was among a group of people that got lost when someone pulled signs out. Trailheads in the middle of nowhere. Wow. Someone came out and was pretty much took the place.
Guys were up to about 80%.
Yeah. I figure it's probably the same as when you have a complete combat. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I'm doing fine. How are you this morning?
Oh, pretty good.
I see you guys.
You guys are all fish. I swear to God, it's coming right down here. I took a picture of it. No. Thank you. Have a good one.
Hear him off in the distance, Sergeant Nicholson. I don't see him yet, but I sure do hear him.
Ladies and gentlemen, momentarily you'll see one United States Army UH-60 Black Hawk helicopter appear to your immediate front. They will be carrying soldiers from Fort Worth's light fighter cadre. However, these aren't just any soldiers. He's coming in from the left right now. These soldiers are instructors responsible for turning ordinary soldiers into elite light fighters. But today their mission is to demonstrate the combat technique for inserting soldiers into the modern battlefield. Let's watch. As the aircraft maneuvers into position, you'll see 4 rappel ropes being dropped out the doors. After attaching itself to these ropes, our light fighters will quickly slide down them using pressure on the rope to control their descent. This is a rappel technique. It's used to rapidly insert soldiers into the battlefield where it's not possible to actually land a helicopter. Quickly on the ground, these soldiers then engage to defeat any enemy force and secure the landing zone for the following helicopters and soldiers. Coming out the door now. The soldiers on the ground are set up in the preliminary. What they do is they'll unhook themselves from the ropes, and those inside the helicopter will unhook the ropes from the inside the helicopter and drop them on the ground so the helicopter can fly away right after that. Perimeter has been effectively set up. Now the helicopter leaves him on the ground. That's correct, Jim. It takes a little while to hook up the ropes for the stabilized body extraction operation.
Okay, well, while we're waiting for them to get zipped up into their harnesses and like, tell us a little bit more about this special thing coming up in December for the 75th anniversary.
That's right. We're calling it the Diamond Game in honor of the 75th anniversary. And it's going to be on Friday, December 4th at the Stabo. The light fighters are ready to be extracted, signal to hovering aircraft while using a handheld smoke signaling device. Upon arrival, the aircraft hovers 80 feet above the ground, and the crew drops ropes for the soldiers to be extracted. Soldiers then securely attach themselves to the ropes and signal for the extraction to continue. Throughout the stable operation, soldiers use their arms, legs, and body surfaces to control position and attitude. By working as a team, each soldier is able to keep one hand free to use his individual weapon if necessary. And there they go, going from the left to the right. And today our light fighters will return forward in this position. And the 90-foot ropes on the speed of approximately 75 miles per hour. Our light fighters for today's demonstration have been Staff Sergeant Steve Weichel, Staff Sergeant Mertz, Staff Sergeant Steele, and Specialist Velasquez. Rappel Master and Coordinator for today's demonstration has been Staff Sergeant Steve Longsworth. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes today's demonstration. We look forward to celebrating our 75th birthday with you in December. On behalf of Major General Marvin L. Cavall and the entire light fighter team of Fort Ord, thank you for your attention.
And thank you, Sergeant Greg Hickerson, for your excellent narration here today that you bought a ticket to become part of the air show. That's how this all has proceeded. The finances of this are pretty simple. We get some help from other members of the community to sponsor the various acts that you'll see today. As you might imagine, aerobatic airplanes and special equipment that you're going to see performing cost a lot of money. Nobody's getting rich on this, but they do have to cover their expenses. Now, with the help of all the sponsors, people in your community, some businesses and industries in this area are putting up their support so that we can get some of the best acts on the air show circuit in the United States and in Canada, for that matter, today. And with their help, we are able to then the 93rd Bomber Wing out of Castle Air Force Base out there in the Sacramento Valley. And this is one of the first of 4 air shows he's going to be flying by here today, so he's got his work cut out for him, a nice busy day. But this will give you a chance to look at the huge B-52 bombers coming in from the east right now. I'll just let you enjoy the noise the natural way here. As you come by, give us a couple of passes, let us look at this huge aircraft. Jet engines and a whole bunch of wheels hanging into the belly of the B-52 bomber, capable of high altitude flight covering.
Yeah, he'll go even slower this time.
Press there to fire it. Instead of a starter, instead of a generator.
Okay, 306 now. Okay, thank you.
Rain got those things. Yeah.
Or often see different sites, that you all have a place that you can relocate at any time of your choosing. That way you'll all be able to go home in the same car once again. So while it's fresh in your mind, why don't you set that up with your youngsters, with your family, that you have a place that you can rendezvous, pick a site, pick an airport. Rendezvous point for lost and found. So if you've lost a child, that might be the first place to go, to be the one of the first aid stations. There's an information booth and lost and found located at the main entrance, also right next to first aid. There again, if you lose somebody, that's the place to go. Don't come up here. We won't be able to announce it during the air show program. Don't forget, you've got a chance to relocate here today. If you bought a general admission ticket and you'd like to get up in the grandstands, it's not too late. There's a little house-shaped thing behind the grandstands there, a little ticket booth. Just take your ticket there and you can upgrade for a grandstand seat. Or if you'd like to get into the box seats, there probably will be some that weren't accounted for today, and you can upgrade your admission tickets to box seating. A nice situation, gets you right up front on the flight line where all the action is. You have your own little enclosure, some nice comfortable chairs, either the grandstands or the box seats. You can do that at any time throughout the day. One more pass now, ladies and gentlemen, from our B-52. Watch carefully as he's going to drop open the bomb bay doors on this pass. You can see them open now. Rick Newman, the 93rd Bomber Wing out of Castle Air Force Base, the B-52G Stratofortress, United States Air Force. Thank them for their flyby, and we'll go out and entertain some other folks at other air shows. You can hear everything very well. We've got a lot of good stuff. Coming up for you today, we're still going to have a flyby from the F-16 Fighting Falcon. We'll see a demonstration of the F-A-18 Hornet, as well as the F-15 Eagle. We'll see a U-2 flyby a little bit later on today, and the F-117 Stealth Fighter. The Nighthawk will be part of our air performance as well. Also the Shooting Stars parachute team, part of our opening ceremonies. They'll make a drop again later on today to show you the fun stuff that's going to have a little race to settle, a little grudge they've got going here with Les Shockley and the Shockwave. That's that big 3-engine Mack truck. That's going to make some noise. So we're going to do a little racing out here on the runways today. Brett Willett back again, 12th year for Brett with his beautiful sailplane act. It's going to look good. You'll love this one. And we'll also have Sean. They'll also be performing at Travis Air Force Base later this afternoon, so we were able to coerce them into just coming by, giving us a quick pass here. The sound of the afterburner. Typical of 80 degrees is 260 degrees on the magnetic compass. There's your double snap roll. We'll go into the whole Eagles routine here a little bit later on. These guys are really hot. This is one of the best pistols and aerobatic teams in the whole country. Runway 26 is the other one we'll lead you through today. Don Bernard, Debbie Willett, and Kathy Orlando. The whole female team falling out of the sky now at a velocity of over 120 miles an hour. You can see them all in a tight formation. Now watch as they break apart, spreading away, and in just a few moments you can see the beautiful canopy opening up over the sun. The fourth jumper you see there is a photographer. That is not the pilot that went out with the airplane, just in case you're wondering. They're taking some pictures up there, and of course the Eagles team, Charlie Hillard, Gene Soucy, and Tom Pomeresny, circling around our shooting stars today. The Eagles team, of course, here by a guy in a great sponsorship of Big Brown from my family store. By Tammy Barron, who also regularly flies the skydiver. 12 seconds of free fall at 100 miles an hour led to the top of open parachutes. May not look as they're very far away, but there are four of them linked up, holding hands. They are considered one of the premier aerobatic civilian teams in the United States. Been around many, many years. Three of the top pilots in the country flying those Eagle aircraft. Eagles team national sponsors of EMCO, underwriters of aviation insurance. Back around and car perfect. You're going to see quite a wide variety of aircraft here today for you non-pilots.
Desert Storm, two F-18 shot down 2 enemy aircraft, then with a flip of a switch, rolled in and delivered 4 2,000-pound bombs, each with pinpoint accuracy. The Hornet's versatility is evident in its ability to carry conventional bombs, laser-guided munitions, anti-radar, tank and shipping missiles, as well as a full air-to-air load of radar-guided Sparrow and Sidewinder heat-seeking missiles. In recognition of the exceptional performance of the F-18, countries from around the world, including Australia, Canada, Spain, Kuwait, Finland, and Sweden have purchased the Hornet. The flight demonstration today is flown by Lieutenant Gary Ball. Lieutenant Ball hails from San Diego, California, and has served as a pilot at a speed of over 150 miles an hour. The max performance flight Ladies and gentlemen, from the left, Lieutenant Ball has repositioned his aircraft in order to demonstrate the exceptional turn capabilities of the F-18. At show center, Lieutenant Ball will perform a maximum performance turn at 7.5 times the force of gravity. During this maneuver, Lieutenant Ball, who normally weighs 180 pounds, feels the weight of over 1,300 pounds. It is famous for its ability to fly slower than any jet aircraft in the world and remain completely controllable through the use of 4 highly sophisticated flight control computers. Lieutenant Ball will complete the slow flight by taking his aircraft into the vertical and executing a 1/2 Cuban-8 maneuver. Lieutenant Ball is performing a reversal maneuver to once again align his aircraft with the show line and will approach at an airspeed of 350 miles per hour to demonstrate the superb ability of the Hornet to point its nose at an adversary by executing a series of square turns in the vertical. Every variety of military tactical jet aircraft possesses a vast array of capabilities, but one asset unique to Navy and Marine Corps tactical jets is that they must be able to complete their mission with pinpoint accuracy and then return home to land on the most challenging airfield in the world, the carrier at sea. From the right, Lieutenant Ball has executed a decelerating turn and has extended his landing gear flaps and tail hook. Lieutenant Ball will demonstrate the exceptional wave-off capability of the F-18 by selecting maximum afterburner and executing another 1/2 Cuban-8 maneuver into the vertical. Lieutenant Ball will now demonstrate the outstanding energy addition rate of the F-18. As Lieutenant Ball reaches crouch center, he will guide his aircraft into the vertical, executing a double inlet, again subjecting himself to nearly 8 times the force of gravity. Lieutenant Ball has once again repositioned his aircraft, and from the left will now demonstrate the exceptional zoom climb capability of the F-18 Hornet. Lieutenant Ball will approach crowd center at nearly the speed of sound, pull his aircraft into the vertical, executing a reversal maneuver high above crowd center. For his final maneuver, Lieutenant Ball is positioning his aircraft to demonstrate a typical carrier brake used on a daily basis by our Navy and Marine Corps on runway center line with a landing gear and plastic spin.
F5 goes to the airport.
By the time he came over, he'd be way over here.
I don't think he's there. For wind, looks just almost like coming right at you, 11 o'clock.
Yeah, got it.
That'd be great. Something like this.
All of them. It's a lot better turn it down.
Oh, yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the United States Navy, Commander Strike Fighter Wing Pacific and the Commanding Officer of Strike Fighter 125, we'd like to thank you for allowing us to demonstrate the F-18.
Thank you, Lieutenant Mike B. Wellington. All right. Great demonstration. How'd you like to have one of those, huh? Well, you would probably take that first gas bill. After that, I think you'd have second thoughts about giving it. It was a great demonstration. New Car Dealers Association, Gene Susi, and the Showcat. Ladies and gentlemen, we roll right along. Your attention drawn now to the east side of our field, just a little to the right of Mount Toro, over the hills there. And the big hangar building, look up in the sky, into the clouds, you'll see a nice little black object coming our way. You see it, but radar can't see it. This is the stealth fighter. The United States Air Force brings you the F-117A, the Nighthawk. Coming down our line here, manufactured by Lockheed, comes to us from the 49th Fighter Wing out of Holloman Air Force Base in New Mexico today, piloted by Captain J.R. Robertson. They'll be performing 4 air shows on the West Coast this afternoon. This is the first time many of us have seen this plane. I've never seen it before in person, and I'm sure many of you have not. So get up and close look. Here it comes. In from the right, on the east, the stealth fighter. wingspan of 43 feet 4 inches, 65 feet long, 12 feet high, and weighs 52,500 pounds, believe it or not. It's powered by two GE F404, GE F1D2 turbofan engines, producing 11,000 pounds of thrust each. The speed of just under the speed of sound, 0.9 Mach, with a range of about 1,250 miles and a ceiling they acknowledge at 5,200 feet. This airplane was very instrumental in the Gulf War. It's capable of all-weather attack fighting, day and night operations. Very sophisticated avionics. As Captain Robertson brings his F-117A back, please, in the President's Club, give a nice round of applause for Gene Soucy and Teresa Stokes at the Showcat. They go down our flight line here, brought to you by the Salinas New Car Dealers.
Coming in with his feet down.
Here again, on a nice slow flight class, you'll be able to see our stealth fighter coming out from the east to the west.
You can still see the heat signature coming. Probably not on radar.
This airplane designed to penetrate enemy military threats at night, to attack very valuable targets, very accurate. Day and night they were able to fly this. The F-117A. Represented only about 3% of the Air Force's hours and $400,000 putting this particular unit together. Les Shockley is his name. He's 48 years old. He and his wife, Dawn, have been married for 30 years. They've got 3 kids and 5 grandkids. Now, while Les does the high-speed performances, Donna will start up with 3 jet engines with a special power unit, performs numerous checks before giving her husband the okay to go for the big run. He's got 30 years of experience behind him, though, in motorsports, 15 years of that in jet vehicles. He's made more than 3,000 runs in jet-powered vehicles with a 100% safety record. Les and Donna Shockley have set hundreds of track records and world records. He was the first to break the 5-second barrier for the quarter mile. First to break the 280-mile-an-hour barrier in a quarter mile. First to go above 290 in a quarter mile. He invented the awesome fire show that you see right now as he warms up through the jet engines. Les Shockley, he holds the world quarter-mile record at 295 miles per hour in 5 seconds. And he consistently drives the Shockway to speeds of well over 300 miles an hour. Now, earlier today, I told you he was going to have a grudge race with Patty Wagstaff. We're going to do that later on today. But Les says, all right, Patty, you've got to fly some video of this thing, but I'll tell you, you better be quick, because Les is quick. This is an amazing airplane. Now, we call it an airplane around here because it's part of the air show. 3 jet engines. If it had wings, it would fly. Watch, ladies and gentlemen, here comes the Shockway. Over 300 miles per hour, 7,000 pounds down our runway. Hopefully he's going to stop in time. He's got the brakes all the way down on the binders. Just barely into the dirt. Very similar to that type of airplane. This aircraft is designed for high altitude flight. This was the plane that came along before the Black Hawk, or the Blackbird, the SR-71. It's still used today for research and for some reconnaissance mission, but by and large, a lot of that work has been replaced over the years by satellites and other more modern, sophisticated tools of the trade. From time to time, the Air Force still finds it sometimes the best way to... our U2 coming back around for another pass here in just a moment. Meanwhile, looks like Les Shockley and his Shockwave in pretty good shape. Lacey Auto Parts, of course, is definitely equipped to help him out with whatever he might need. Although I don't know if they've got many parts in stock for GE jet engines, but Lacey Auto Parts can do just about anything else. So one way or another, a chance for you to catch a good photo of it. If you look carefully, that long wingspan, specially designed to maintain flight in extreme high altitudes where the air is very, very thin. They need a longer wingspan to produce the lift. The U2R, Field Air Force Base, Captain Steve Snowbirds.
Look at the wing on that thing, right? Huge, man.
Again, our representatives, in this case from the United States Air Force, helping us out here to make our air show such a special event.
I know, it's unbelievable. What's your problem?
He's coming back around for one more load. You can also get a little Christmas shopping done today, too, of all some of these great souvenirs they've got. So there's plenty to see and do. If you haven't done so yet, you may still be able to get a little upgrade. We've got lots of air show left. You came in on a general admission ticket. All you have to do is go to the little tent behind the main grandstand, and for a few dollars more, you can upgrade your general admission ticket to box seats or grandstand tickets. See what's left available. I'm not sure what they have, but generally they'll do their darndest to accommodate you. So you have some box seats available. It's a great way to see the show. You're right on their show line. You got your own chairs, a place for your family to gather, and you might be able to do that today. There's still plenty of time left. It would not be money lost, that's for sure. Coming around, one more pass from our U2. This is our slow pass here. He's got his flaps out, his landing gear. Landing gear under the center of the fuselage and out on the wing tips. With wings that long, you have to have a little bit of help on the edges. At this point, air operations are still trying to see what's going on here, but he's going to either do a low approach or he might just land. He's kind of sized up the situation.
Nice, man.
Okay, there comes the low approach. Approach to land and the go around.
Been able to take off for you here today. He would have lit the afterburners and taken off into a vertical climb. He will now simulate this maneuver by slowing down to takeoff speed and flying down the show line. As you reach your show center, he'll light the afterburners and pull up into a vertical climb after landing in the air and flap retraction.
We had planes coming out of that coming across. See that? They got popped there.
During his climb, Captain King will roll the aircraft 180 degrees as he sets up for this maneuver. Captain King is now going over the top inverted as he enters the split S. He'll finish this maneuver just 500 feet above the ground, traveling over 500 miles per hour in the opposite direction from takeoff. As he turns back towards show center, he'll demonstrate the F-15's wrist handling characteristics by performing the exacting 4-point roll. Ladies and gentlemen, in air-to-air combat, if you can't turn tight, you can't fight. Captain King is now returning to show center to demonstrate the F-15's exceptional turning capability. In this turn, the pilot will be pressed deep into his seat by a pressure equal to almost 9 times his normal weight. Now reposition his aircraft as he sets up for his next maneuver. He'll turn back in towards show center, accelerate up through 450 miles per hour, and then smartly snap the eagle through 3 rapid rolls. Watch the F-15 perform high-speed, high-G maneuvers, which test the mettle of both pilot and plane. But slow-speed controllability is just as important to those of us who fly. To demonstrate this, Captain King is now decelerating for a low and slow-speed pass in the landing configuration. While the F-15 is a strong performer at more than twice the speed of sound, watch how precisely it maneuvers as it's rolled from side to side during this low-speed pass. From slow flight, Captain King will pull up into a difficult maneuver called the Cuban 8. Tracing a figure 8 with his aircraft as he pulls up into a steep climb. He'll demonstrate the Eagle's exceptional capability of rapidly transitioning from slow speed to high speed maneuvers. Tactical maneuver called the The Eagle established a world time to climb record by soaring up beyond 12 miles in just 2 minutes, 3 seconds. In the more than 16 years since that record was first set, it is yet to have been broken. That's American quality in aviation, a quality that's lasted more than 16 years. This next maneuver will show you just what a high-speed climb looks and sounds like. Captain King will be inbound at 500 feet, traveling at just 1/3 the F-15's top speed. As he reaches show center, he'll pull up into a vertical climb, made possible by the two superb engines that power the world's best fighter.
He's our local boy from Salinas, California, Sean D. Tucker, and the Red Ball Challenger. That is a performance. That's a performance that is unbeaten. Everybody in the air show industry lately has been talking about it.
What time is our Snowbirds?
It's in there right there.
They're probably the last thing.
Yeah, they're all going to be last. What time is it?
Neither one of us took smoke.
Probably shouldn't have.
These are better seats here than the VIP over
You bet they are. There's more action.
I want to also say a special thank you to our air show director, Mr. Harry Wardwell Jr. Sheriff has done a tremendous job with all the maze of organizations that's had to go. And special thanks to President Sherry Leviti.
Yeah.
We also would like to acknowledge Roberta Jackman Massey, who started with the air show about 11 years ago. Was one of the volunteers working with a group in a hot dog concession since that was her first experience with the air show. Association and the Aviation Foundation. Honoring this a little while ago, flying Showcat is Gene Susie. Change the attitude on this formation. Gene and Tom over a while have to adjust this. The dance is a suitable force generated as they turn, just like when you have an ice skater on the road. The one furthest from the end that has to go fastest, the one on the inside that has to go slowest. They're perfectly matched, beautifully painted Christian Eagle 1 aircraft. However, I think it was all possible. These are all aerobatic champions. They fly the Christian Eagle 1. It's a single-place biplane, 19 feet long, 20-foot wingspan. Powered by a 2,000 pounds and fly straight up to 2,000 feet. Beautiful airplanes. It was designed and built by Frank Christensen of Christian Aircraft Industries back when he was... Now splitting up this formation. In trail, they go right on up at the top. A little bit of a quarter roll, establish a good line, and here we go. 1, 2, 3. As each of our pilots kicks the sequence they go, all the while adjusting for variable winds and different altitudes.
You've been to Kingsville many times. I told you you were born in Toronto, but raised in
Tight formation here.
Honeymoon town, so they don't.
Many times not being able to see each other because of...
Do you guys want something?
I don't.
That was fun.
I'm just going to go up here and
Tom
get a hot dog.
Pomerezzi comes from a flying family. His father Paul was the one that actually started the Experimental Aircraft Association a few years before he began. That's Tom on the right now. Trying to turn his airplane around upside down. Heartbreak. Here we go.
Coming right at you. You hear that?
Especially for the ladies that are on ice today. Classic Eagle formation.
Slide? Well, yeah, I don't know what you ran off.
The best and the greatest, the grandfathers of and rest formation loop. This is difficult because both Tom and Gene have to really line up on Charlie rather awkward angle. Not even being able to see where they're going, just watching each other. Nice late turnaround.
Just falling. They're all
Back at the Airshow Center.
Down there, Mike.
Watch this one. This is a good photo opportunity for you here. Again, they've got the smoke on to make it much easier for you to see the beautiful Kristen 5 planes. They come back around in a nice little loop, and here comes the downburst. For you from each other, barely able to make each other on the rise as they do another half Cuban 8 maneuver to get themselves reversed. Back toward Airshow Center. Up on that vertical, half rolling on top. Waiting for all this energy to dissipate at exactly the right time. And there they are, ladies and gentlemen. 1, 2, 3, all at the same time in a hammerhead turn. A snap roll on the downside and we're complete. The great skippers so famous on the Airshow circuit all over. Now they're going to do this bomb burst formation on the upside instead of going down. All three lining up to the same center point. Now they're going to split up the team here for a little bit. We've got Charlie and Tom flying together side by side. Gene's out in front solo. Do a little bit of variation rather than the formation. We'll do some head-on work now. Three nicer guys you wouldn't want to meet. They're just terrific fellows, all three of them. Now they're back into a tight formation. Smoke is on. Charlie says, let's go, guys. We're looking for more great maneuvers together. Going back out on the stage. Gravity's washing them down in their seats. Charlie rolls around. He's upside down. Gene breaks off on the left, Tom over on the right. And here we go. Another nice, beautiful photo opportunity. turning ability, which enabled it to employ its weapon system and consistently outperform and defeat its opponents. The aircraft you're going to see today, Gunslinger 4 fighters, are commanded by Captain Daniel Chop, call sign Chopper, from Youngstown, Ohio. And they're home based at Naval Air Station Miramar, California, in San Diego. Your fighter pilot. Everything has been checked carefully. To the General Electric turbine engines producing 60,000 pounds of thrust and power. On the roll, Quasi accelerates the F-14. Sound of freedom from the F-14D, the Super Tomcat. Now Quasi's going to bring it back around another high-speed turn. The variable geometry wing enables the F-14 to fly at speeds above Mach 2 and still slow to a normal approach velocity of about 140 miles per hour. As the crew sets up for the next maneuver and re-enters the show line, watches this aircraft rolls onto its side and establishes a zero-G ballistic arc down the flight line. Keep your eyes on the wings as they are commanded from their fully swept position to the fully extended position. Here we come, ladies and gentlemen, from right to left, the F-14 in the knife edge pass. While speed is life in the fighter arena, there sometimes arises a need for some slow speed maneuverability. A viable tactic in a dogfight is to slow the jet down and let the bogey fly right by you. Sound familiar? You probably saw the movie Top Gun, didn't you? Well, this is the plane that was featured in Top Gun. This enables a fighter like this to turn the tables and become offensive to the prey. Once a shot is taken, the Super Tomcat GD engines will allow the crew to leave the flight in an expeditious manner, no less. Watch now as the crew slows the jet down to just over 100 miles an hour and performs a level pass to a tactical egress. This is going to allow you an excellent photo opportunity. Double check that camera. Got some film left? Enough tape on the old VCR? Watch as the Super Tomcat, wings extended, seems to hover before you.
Jump on that.
Per second of turn rate, while it completes the turn inside of 1,500 feet. This has got to be really a hard one, eye-watering turn rate. This radius will enable us to turn the airplane inside of an opponent, bring weapons to bear, and terminate it quickly. Snowbirds. Watch out from the left. A high-performance, minimum radius turn, under 1,500 feet. That's quite a bit less than a mile. Watch as this comes around now. Full afterburner power.
They can't come in until this guy's done.
Of the aircraft. After a high-speed pass, Quasi's going to pull the Super Tomcat into the vertical and perform numerous rolls going straight up. Absolutely remarkable stuff. Just a few knots less than the speed of sound, more from the animation allowed to have the daytime with the clothes on. Here comes your light. Tomcat has. You'll get a close-up look at the afterburning turbofan engines. Normally just upon landing, they go to full afterburner in the event they miss all 4 of the arresting wires on the deck. If that's the case, the airplane will continue to fly off the deck. If they wouldn't go to full power, they go right into the drain. So this is an orderly approach to the carrier. Control systems, as if he had nothing else to do, right? The pilot, Lieutenant Murata, And Lieutenant Serrett, your RIO, will have over $1,500 and over 300 carrier-arrested landings in their Tomcat, Quasi, and Deco, and bring this 45,000-pound aircraft to a stop. We have no arresting hook here, so he's got about 5,000 feet of runway to work with, and hopefully we'll get it down at 1,600 feet.
With no hook?
All the folks at Miramar salute all of us here as the Tomcat will land, taxi. They want to thank you for letting the gunslingers bring you this performance today to demonstrate the capabilities of the F-14D Super Tomcat. The gunfighters of the VF-124 at the Naval Air Station Miramar are proud of their heritage of the aircraft, and most of all, they're proud to say that they're ready to stand ready to play a role in defending this great country of ours. So on behalf of the United States Navy, we thank you for your support and interest in the Navy's fighter aviation. Ladies and gentlemen, the Grumman F-14D Super Tomcat. We're feeling real good. We're going to taxi that baby off the line here and pay special tribute now to our neighbors to the north, Canada, as they celebrate 125 years as a nation. We are proud to welcome.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Welcome to the 1992 Canadian Forces Snowbirds Formation Demonstration.
Bon après-midi, mesdames et messieurs. De la part des forces canadiennes, bienvenue à la démonstration des Snowbirds 1992.
My name is Captain Mike Linehan, Snowbird 11 from Windsor, Ontario. And with me is Major Réal Turgeon, Snowbird 10 from St. Isidore, Quebec. Together we will describe today's display. Aerobatic teams have been a part of Canada's aviation heritage for over decades. In 1967, Canada celebrated its 100th birthday with the Golden Centenaires in their Tubejets. Over the years, these teams and many others have displayed the kind of skill, teamwork, and dedication found throughout Canada's military. The Snowbirds were formed 22 years ago and performed their first show in the summer of 1971 at their home base of Moose Jaw, Saskatchewan. 7 years later, they achieved full squadron status as 4th Atomic 1 Air Demonstration Squadron and have gradually developed into a team, and their tour of duty is just 2 years long. Each year the team changes by hand, with new members being taught the required skills by the second-year Snowbirds. When it was decided that the team required a proper name, a contest was held among the school children of Moose Jaw. One name seemed to fit. Right. Is the Canadian-designed and built Canadair CT-114 Tudor, the same aircraft that is used as the primary jet trainer for the Canadian Forces in Moose Jaw. As the 9-plane formation comes in from the right, they will set up for the classic Big Diamond Roll.
Nobody hardly ever plays that song.
Trademark of the Snowbirds, the line abreast, roll, and loop. Eyes right as the lead solo will roll upside down. He'll be accompanied on the outside by the line astern pilot.
Solo start now.
Cut one upside down.
Musical, all male cash over. Playback. Do that. On that. Going up.
They're pulling up right here.
So it's put down. Hold down. 30.
From the right, the 7-plane formation returns. First is dedicated to the volunteers and organizers of today's show.
Oh, this has got his speed out. Oh, got his speed out.
As they perform the corkscrew. Now, from the left, you're about to see one of the most difficult maneuvers. Watch as Major Steffen slowly pulls up and rolls the entire formation. Now, with the solos aboard, we'll again. At the top of the loop, they will change to Big Arrow. Big Arrow, go. Then to Big Diamond, as they return to show center for the distinctive Big Diamond final time. Now in palm formation, the Snowbirds are preparing for their final maneuver of the show. spectacular downward bombers dedicated to the people of Salinas.
Note 2, Sean D. Tucker's sponsor, Central Coast Aviation, Mr. Gary Vincennes, of course. We thank him for his thing, but Sean's national sponsor of the sunglasses made by Randolph. We told you earlier about raffle tickets, so we're going to give away some raffle ticket sunglasses. Here are a couple of names for you. Romano from Seaview. And your number is 348011. 348011. You go by the Randolph booth and you get some free sunglasses. Mr. Matt Morrell out of San Jose. Number 348031. 348031. You've got yourself a pair of sunglasses. And from Salinas, California, Jim Vaughter. Number 348037. Dr. Jim Vaughter, we got you a new pair of classic Randolph Aviators to fly your airplane with. So you go by the Randolph booth and you got yourself a new pair of sunglasses, all right? Make sure you do that. Compliments of the Randolph people and Sean D. Tucker. Here come our Snowbirds. Watch as they come in formation. And I guess I have to say thanks to my colleague Margot Myers at KSPW TPH. Sorry to say she got down with a real bad head cold, so I had to substitute for her yesterday on the meteor ride. I got the chance to fly with Rob Martin, number 2, Canadian Snowbirds. Well, Margot, I owe you one. If you think these formations look close from down here, you wouldn't believe your eyes when you're up there right next to them. It is absolutely remarkable. The finest pilots I've ever seen fly.
Beautiful show.
The directors of the California International Airshow also want to acknowledge the memory of Tony Buffalo, who worked for our airshow for the past 8 years. Starting in his early teens, Tony worked both for facilities and for air operations. Last year, Tony worked with facilities, drove a forklift, helped with the grandstands, and also drove the airshow shuttle bus that the pilots utilized. At the age of 24, Tony was one volunteer that needed no phone reminders. He was always at the airport the week before the show, helping to set up. I'm going to miss you, Tony. Just about 4 or 5 minutes after the pilots have had a chance to regroup and kind of make sure all the organs are back in the right places, they come up to the show line here. And we'll be more than happy to meet with you and sign your programs, give autographs to the youngsters. So just give them 4 or 5 minutes to kind of spin down here for a moment. They'll be doing that in just a moment. I'm going to give word from my air office and the air boss that we're going to fire off. And I take it nice and slow and spin down. In a few moments, when we get ready, I'll let you know when we get ready to go front and center for this big race. I've got one message here for all of our air show performers. At the conclusion of the performance today, we'd like to ask your presence in the President's tent. So all air show performers, we'd like to have you at the air show President's Club tent at the conclusion of this performance before you split off for other events. He's getting ready to roll here. Now, ladies and gentlemen, here we go, front and center, if you please, as we're going to settle up our grudge match. Patty Wagstaff in the extra 260, coming on down the line. She sees the fire coming out of Les Shockley's Jackway, and she's ready for a race. All lined out, kind of just working it over a little bit. Engine oil is nice and warm.
That thing sounds like a bee in a jar up here, that thing.
Patty keeps looking over 70 degrees and swoop down the deck. She's going to go to full throttle. She's going to dive down for every knot of airspeed she can squeeze out of the extra. Les Shockley is already, he's got the juice flowing to all 3 of his engines. All that horsepower. Can he make it from 0 to 300 miles an hour in less than a quarter of a mile? Let's see how it goes. Here comes Patty. As soon as she's right overhead, Les is going to get the signal to put her right over the line.
Bobby, we're going to head over to the VIP, okay?